And welcome to, again, the Midweek Geek. I saw you struggling a little there, Dennis, so I just kind of like, I'm going to knock this out real quick.
Yeah, I hit the wrong one, so that was my fault.
No, it's cool. All right, guys, take 2 to this episode. Man, we're learning a lot of new things, and it's great. It's actually really cool because Dennis is now seeing how to do this on his own. So if I ever have to not be here, he can actually do this.
Yeah, assuming that, the levels drop.
All right, guys, so we are, again, I'm Eugene, which you cannot see, but I do look like the Tapatio man, and I'm here with my co-host, Dennis.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
People will be like, what the hell? It was a glitch in the Matrix, guys.
That's right. That's right.
So we are here. I know my sound doesn't sound that great, and I don't know if you could hear what's in the background, but I am traveling. I'm driving home. I'm in the rain, and I'm still doing. Look, this is dedication, pure dedication to my craft.
Pure dedication to the class.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, so this is... I had to spit out my gun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's raining.
Yeah, so as Eugene mentioned, if you can hear the background, he's currently on the road, driving in the rain. I set some land speed records myself in order to get home before the rain got too bad, but we're in some wet weather.
We definitely are, and I think it was supposed to end today. It's not even supposed to rain right now. And
as far as I had heard, yeah, tomorrow we're supposed to just have a little overcast, and that's about it.
But did you hear about the tornado?
No, where?
It was in the border of right on the border of actually Pico, Rivera, and Montebello, Norwalk area.
No.
Apparently, there was a tornado.
Wow.
I saw a video of it, and I was seeing all the comments that people were posting up, and somebody was all like, "That's government targeting. Don't tell me they can't control the weather." Well, you guys are stupid.
That's right.
I was like, you guys are ridiculous. But whatever. So yeah, there was a tornado in Montebello. And I was like, holy crap, my aunt actually lives over that way, but it was nowhere near where she lived. So
yeah, well, I mean, that just falls in line with everything else that's been going on this year. I mean, we snow in Fullerton, of all places. Yeah. So, chalk this up to being 2023/21.
Well, I'm chalking this up to the movie. What was that one movie with Cusack? 2020 or whatever it was, where the end of the world was happening and all the weather was going to crap.
Was that Cusack?
Yeah, it was Cusack. Woody Harrelson had a small part in it. Not the other one where was the Day After Tomorrow, which is the one where everything froze over. Not that one. That had Dennis Quaid and wasn't it Gyllenhaal was playing his son? Remember that one?
I don't know that.
The Day After Tomorrow?
No, I never saw that one.
Huh. That was, I'll say it right here, but that's one of Mel's favorite movies, and I was like, that's not. No. No.
Yeah, I don't think I know that.
Oh, it's all right, you didn't miss much.
Yeah. So this other one you were talking about, it was called 2020?
The one with Cusack?
Yeah,
Yeah, was it 2020?
I'm not seeing it. I'm
Or
IMDbing it right now, and I'm not seeing anything.
I or I
All I'm getting is John Cusack in 2020, in the year 2020.
then just IMDb John Cusack because
That's
I
what
know
I'm
there
saying.
he did some movie that was like world was
Yeah.
ending and everybody was getting on board a like a Noah's Ark type ship and it was just ridiculous.
Are you talking about Utopia?
No, not Utopia. If I wish I could actually get on and type something. We have a viewer watching us, and if you're watching us and you're like looking at us, like yelling out the movie,
Help us
type
out. Yeah, help us out.
type in the movie. I can't remember the name of it.
2012.
2012. That's what it is.
2012, not 2020. Excuse me. Sorry, everybody.
Whatever.
He's right in
2012.
your face.
It was in the
2012.
20s. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, it's Lupe. Hey, Lupe. Welcome. You're
Luke,
gonna
what's
listen.
going on, my friend?
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's 2012, Lupe. 2012.
That's what it was. The
Yeah,
Mayan
frustrated
stuff.
writer struggles to keep his family alive when a series of global catastrophes threaten to annihilate mankind. Yeah, that doesn't sound apocalyptic. I don't know what does.
And then like not too long after that, they came out with like I think Geostorm was around there with
Oh
Gerard
no.
Butler.
Yeah, that one I remember. Geostorm. Yeah.
Dude, the movies that have been coming out about the weather and all that, ridiculous.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, guys. I know we're babbling on. I mean, hell, this is what this whole podcast is about, anyways.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're geeking out on movies, so we're talking about movies.
Exactly. It gives us free reign.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. No, although no rain, but
Yeah,
free reign.
I prefer to do without the rain. Rain is just. So, anyways, all right. So, let me tell you guys about this drink that I have right here with me that's going to continue to fuel me the rest of this drive. And
Uh-oh.
that is the amazing energy drink Ghost.
I was just gonna say, are you ghost riding?
Oh, I am. I am going. I haven't opened it up just yet because I like to wait at least 2 hours into my drive before I pop it open and keep me going for the rest of the 2 hours. Because I got about a 4-hour drive, guys. It's a long drive. But Ghost is a freaking amazing energy drink. It's got epic focus, legendary energy, no artificial colors, no and zero sugars. It's got a lot of great stuff in it with none of the bad stuff. It's got, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's got 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's what gets me going. It's a lot, but it's all natural caffeine. So it's not like the bad stuff that they put into other energy drinks. So if you guys want to check them out. Today I have my Warhead sour green apple. Um, and they've got a lot of other great flavors. Dennis, I know he loves the orange cream one.
Yeah, orange cream is probably, I shouldn't even say probably. It is my favorite, mainly because I haven't tried the sour apple yet, and I go absolutely insane for sour apple stuff. So I'm still waiting to try it.
Well, when I get back from all my drill and all that other stuff I got to do, I will have some when we do our what do you call it? Well, when we finally get to do Master Geek Theater.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward.
But you guys check them out. They're at ghostenergy.com, also at ghostlifestyle.com. You can check them out there. And on their Instagrams, which are Ghost Energy. I think it's Ghost Energy Drink, Ghost Lifestyle, and Ghost Gamers. So you can find them all there and see all their posts of all their drinks being posted up along with all their wonderful models and everything else. So, got to do the shout out there because we definitely want to get their attention. We want to get them to help sponsor this show and also some of the events that we want to do.
Yes.
which there is something coming up in the works with one of our other podcast buddies, but that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say anything more. But even if they can do, sponsor our freaking Master Geek Theaters, that would be great. Toss some energy drinks our way to push us through those movies, because there are going to be some bad ones that we're going to be watching. So we need the
Right.
energy. But we do love ghosts, and we love what they do for us. And I'm actually going to be picking up some protein powder soon too, because I hate to say it, but I'm actually going to get back into working out. So.
Why do you hate to say it?
Because I hate working out.
Oh, wow.
I don't
In that
think
case,
I'm a good.
there's nothing I can do to help you.
I'm not a good candidate, I think, for their ghost lifestyle, because I'm just like, every picture would be a picture of me just frowning as I'm getting ready to work out, just be like,
Eugene literally going.
Exactly. So that's but I do love their stuff, so I'm gonna keep going with them. So, anyways, enough of that. Then there's one more. Why not throw a shout out for RoCat, because this show, along with all our other shows, do use RoCat products. So we got the Torch mic, the wonderful Magma full-size keyboards that's being used, and also the Burst Air Pro wireless mouse. So I love all those products. You guys check them out. Go to rocat.com for all that. They're wonderful products. They also got headsets and all that other stuff. So, okay. Sorry, guys. Had to get that spiel out there because we needed to, we want to keep going with this and make sure that they hear us.
That's right.
But now that we're done with that, let's move on to our first segment, which, Dennis, do you have that queued up yet? Roll down to
I think so.
It's it says this week.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
So, yeah,
All
we're
right.
gonna move into our first segment, which is gonna be This Week in Movies.
Sweet. This Week in Movies. Let's bring up those amazing slides that I took all of 5 minutes to do on this week.
All right.
I'm just being honest.
Where are those?
Those should be in let's see, layout, background.
They're not banners, and I don't see anything in brand.
It should be in. Crap. I can't find them. Check in more.
More?
No, you don't see them?
Nope. There's background music. There are video clips. There's overlay, and there's logo. That's it.
All right. Well, then we're gonna just forego the slides because it was just a picture of the stuff, and I do remember what the slides had on it because I did make it. So, first slide. Picture this: the Shazam Fury of the Gods poster.
Yeah.
Because that came out this past weekend, and it came out to a dismal open. What did Lucas say? I can't read it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I still can't read it. That's what I was asking.
He was saying, Lucas is saying hello. He was in the middle of playing Modern Warfare 2.
Oh. But, Dennis, did you watch the first one?
No. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
As much as I love Zach Levy, unfortunately, he's much better in that, more tongue-in-cheek comedic role, which I understand he played Billy Batson in that same vein. Mm-hmm. However, very hard to take him seriously in the role of, supposed to be a superhero. So, I will openly admit I did not see the first one. I love his work. I love him as an actor. He's very funny, but Shazam, the character is essentially, for people who don't know, The character essentially is a kid, you know, a 12, 13-year-old. He's a teenager who, through a series of events, is bestowed with the powers of
The gods.
but it's 6 different individual gods, and so the name Shazam actually represents each of the different gods that he gets power from, and for him to become now, okay, a little bit of trivia thrown in there.
All right.
For
hey,
you know,
Dennis, really quick.
Yeah.
I may cut out. So you're
Okay.
kind of. I'm gonna say you're kind of on your own right now. Give them all your Shazam info. Go.
Yeah, fine. No, that's fine. So a little bit of trivia for you, you know, buffs out there. So Shazam's name was not always Shazam. His name originally was Captain Marvel, and DC created the character long before Marvel comics even existed. However, the copyright on the name expired, and so Marvel Comics was able to create a Captain Marvel and not get sued. And then they patented, or I shouldn't say patented, they copyright wrote the name Captain Marvel, which DC then had to go and change the character's name. So he went from yelling out the word Shazam and turning into Captain Marvel to now his name is Shazam. But that being said,
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's always been kind of a stickler for the people who are very much firmly in the camp of DC and are very anti-Marvel. Well, you guys, Marvel stole the name and then no, I mean they legitimately DC just allowed the copyright to expire and Marvel. So anyway, back to what I was saying in regards to the first movie. So yes, the character is intended to be a little bit naive and maybe just not worldly and not mature and aware of adult matters, I guess, and if that makes sense. So I can understand where
I saw the first one.
Okay.
And I really liked it.
And a lot of people said the very same thing. They said it was actually very good. His portrayal of the character was, done in that same, that same vein of it. He's a little kid that's essentially in the body of this adult. But to me, it just smacked of Tom Hanks in Big, and nobody can really replicate that kind of experience, regardless of the fact that it's supposed to be a superhero. So I'm sorry, I'll let you jump in because you actually did watch it.
Yeah, I did see it. Now that I got a signal, I'm glad you can hear me. I actually liked the first one because he was very unaware of himself. It was almost like you said, yes, it was kind of a big situation.
Right.
You there?
Yeah.
Okay. It was kind of a big situation type thing where he was like, "Oh, I'm a little kid and now I'm an adult," but it was Zach still did it really well. Zachary did a really good job of doing that, playing that, and it was very tongue in cheek. So it still had that comedic timing that he had in Chuck. So yeah. I actually liked the first one, and I've seen the first one over again. And normally I don't watch a lot of these new over and over again. This one I've seen a couple times because they're fun. It was a fun movie.
Okay.
And so I was looking forward to part 2 because I was like, oh, cool, okay. Let's see what they do. Black Adam came out. That was a flop. I was like, oh, man. All right. So the DC curse is going to strike. And
wow. And that could be a whole tangent that we could go off on, but it's safe to say Black Adam was very much like a fan service thing, and
they didn't like it.
Well, no, not only that, but I mean that's kind of a kiss of death for a lot of things. I mean, doing fan service, it can make or break you.
Yeah. So, but now that we've drawn out this section with Shazam only made This is a sad opening. 30 million in the box office.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bulk of it was worldwide. It was not domestic. Domestic had, like, literally, I'll say it, piss poor numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it wasn't for the rest of the world, Shazam would have opened up under probably Scream, because Scream still was making money this weekend. So
And it's a shame too, because of the fact that again, I did get feedback from a lot of people saying that the first movie was good. But again, I shied away from wanting to see it, especially after Black Adam came out, because you know what, I'm gonna be that kind of that crotchety, jaded old guy in this sense, because Black Adam, Shazam they're supposed to be the antithesis of each other. And Black Adam is just very intense, he's very serious, and he's not a good guy. By that I mean he's not a good guy, he's not a good guy. He, has an agenda, and he will kill someone in order to achieve that agenda. I mean, he's not necessarily evil, he's not trying to take over the world, but he's not a good guy. And throughout the history of the two characters, they've always been at odds because of the approach to things. And so, yeah, Black Adam kind of got a little bit of, like, sometimes he was a villain, sometimes he was more just like an anti-hero. It's kind of in the same vein that you would have, Spider-Man and Venom, where there are times where he's straight up, trying to kill Spider-Man. There are other times where he's just kind of like wants to do his own thing and nobody like make this stop, but not necessarily, like that. To say that because I actually think that Dwayne Johnson is a pretty good actor. He's he's actually capable of being very funny. Not the Black Adam was funny, but I mean, he's a good actor. He doesn't take himself seriously, and unfortunately, I think his success. They were hoping to ride on the back of that.
yeah, I still haven't even watched Black Adam. Oh, Distance Starting is in here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Eugene's on a headset on his phone, and we're both dealing with rain and really poor signal quality and stuff like that. So that doesn't surprise us.
Well, I don't know. If it's Philippe, then he's a sound engineer, so that's why he's like. It probably hurts him even more. If it's James, yeah, I know we sound bad. Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
moving on. Sorry, I had to take a drink.
It's young Phil. It's Phil. What up, Phil? How you doing tonight?
Moving on. This coming weekend is a grand weekend. A weekend I've been waiting for. A weekend for a movie that I've been waiting for. This weekend the opening movie for this Friday is John Wick. Is there any other movies? I don't know. I don't care. It's just John Wick 4.
Right? I mean, honestly, I'm definitely gonna pay to see it, even if it becomes a complete stinker.
Yes.
Definitely. All of the previous John Wick movies have just been so good, and yeah, some of them are really over the top, but that's part of the reason why they're so good. But for me, like, this is my own personal thing, and I'm sure Eugene might agree with me at least on this one thing. They talk about like the gunplay and the choreography of the fight scenes and stuff like that in John Wick. Keanu Reeves is actually an extremely accomplished, gunfight. I don't want to say gunfighter, but he does like time trials with different firearms and stuff like that. And this boy's good. I mean, he's good. And so
Phil,
when you see him in the movies, I mean, he literally can pull off some of these moves in real life. Like I've seen videos of him on shooting ranges doing time trials. This guy's good.
yeah, and Phil's saying it. He trained with SF. That's how he got
Oh,
so good.
well, there you go. I
And
mean,
whenever I watch that one video of him going out on the range, I will tell you my pants get tight. And I'm sure
right?
Phil will agree with him. Phil will agree with me on that too. We're talking about tight, and we're talking about like I have to change my underwear afterwards. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's sick. I mean, damn, that boy good, you know?
yeah, hell yeah. So I am looking forward to this movie, and I will when I get back from done with my training. I hope nobody spoils anything for me, but I am going to go see this movie because I have to see it in the theater. So that is what's coming up this weekend. That's what we're looking forward to. Finally,
so
a good
everybody,
movie.
if you're gonna see a movie, go see John Wick 4.
Yes. So finally, a good movie is coming out, and I'm looking forward to it. So, Lupe, you out here already, or is it just?
I didn't see. He didn't say he was leaving.
Oh, he says good night, everybody.
Oh,
Sorry, I looked.
I missed that. All right, I'm sorry about that. Lupe, have a good night, man.
Yeah, we're struggling through this, guys. This
Yeah,
isn't normal for us.
It's rough.
It's almost like it's our first podcast. But
we've never done this before. I don't know what to do with my hands.
But all right, let's get out of this segment so you can move on finally.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. So.
All right, let's close that out. So thank you and good night with this.
I love how it gives us a little bit of applause. It at least makes us feel better.
Lupe was talking about the tight pants.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely enough to lose us a viewer right there. Absolutely.
Oh man. So really quick, I saw Phil say that he just watched the Mando, and was that the latest episode? And Ted Lasso, which I did see Ted Lasso, but I have not seen the newest episode, which airs tonight because it's every Wednesday.
Yep.
So.
No spoilers, sir.
Yeah, but Dennis, you've watched Ted Lasso. Have you watched the newest episodes?
I have not. No, not yet. For me, the Ted Lasso experience is one that I share. My sister and I share a place, so we sit down and we watch them together, and we just haven't had a chance to. So no, I have not seen the new episode yet.
Okay, I love that show.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fantastic show. I mean, the writing is incredible. Jason Sudeikis is, I mean, he's so good in the role of Ted.
Mm-hmm.
I would be remiss if I said that there weren't times in that show where I'm literally I'm like dying of laughter. I'm crying so hard from laughing, and then within a few scenes, I'm fighting back tears because it's so emotional.
It is such a great show, and you know what's funny is when you said you're laughing so hard. What I heard was, "I'm laughing so hard I'm farting."
I can't say that never happened either.
That's what sucks with being on the road and stuff like kind of cuts out. So I start to hear weird stuff. So
yeah.
But I have laughed so hard at movies that I have farted, where it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. I've never pooed myself, but I've definitely laughed hard enough to fart.
Oh, that's funny. But all right, so we're done with the movies. to move on to what is one of Dennis's all-time favorite sections, which is the video games, and he also loves the bumper for this. So I'll let him play this bumper.
I do. So yeah, so we're gonna move into the next one. We're going into our video game review. The music, I literally kind of like do a little dance to it. And I keep telling you, Gene, we need to do like when we go out of the segment, we need to do that. You know. But,
I keep forgetting to download that sound, so you got to remind me.
Yeah, that's fine. Nah. So video game review. Been kind of quiet on the front for me, mainly because I'm just biding my time for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So that's been on the horizon for me. I'm still playing Destiny 2. As the season's going on, the storyline's starting to kind of flesh out a little bit. I'm not as jaded about things. Obviously, there's a lot of details that they have not given us, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that is still fun. And then, of course, I'm still playing Hogwarts as well. And no thrashing talk. I thought we were going to wait for that one, Lupe.
Lupe, we will talk about thrashing after the video segment, because
after
you opened up a whole can of worms of what do you call it? Nostalgia when you shot me that message. So
yeah, exactly.
We'll talk about that right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so as I said, waiting with bated breath for Jedi Survivor, still playing Destiny, still in Hogwarts. Hogwarts is getting more and more fun as I play that game. I still hate flying around on a broom. I'm not going to change my opinion on that. So obviously that's good. But right now we're currently in the midst of Diablo 4 is having its open beta. And that's another game that I've been very excited for it to drop. I played the heck out of Diablo 3. I played the Diablo 2 reboot. So this is a game that's near and dear to my heart, and I love isometric ARPGs, action RPGs. They're a lot of fun, and of course Blizzard. They basically cornered the market on the isometric ARPG. The 3/4 top down, run around. It's just so much fun. Unfortunately, I couldn't get in on that beta, so I found this other game. It just got released on Xbox Game Pass. Or no, it's not on Game Pass. I take that back. But it does get released on console. It's called Wolfen, Lords of Mayhem. And a lot of people would literally pass this off as a Diablo clone. And for the most part, it is. It's a 3/4 top-down isometric ARPG. But the really fun thing about it is that, and that kind of sets it aside, is that the maps are procedurally generated. So every time you load into a dungeon or an overworld area, the maps are random. They're never going to be in the same layout. Chests that you find in the world are never going to be in the same place. Enemy spawns are always going to be different, and so it lends a lot of replayability in that. Plus, it's got a character creator. And again, one more thing that I absolutely love in video games, especially anything that has an RPG aspect to it, is you can make your character look however you want, male, female. You can change hair color, skin color, things like that. Now, the options on it, very limited, but it's still, it's a nice little treat for people like me.
Well, I didn't play. I haven't played very many Diablos other than the very first one, so it's been a while. But I was reading because you had mentioned that you wanted to talk about one Diablo 4, and then this other game, which I could barely find anything on, other than that it's on. You find it on Steam, but with Diablo 4, they're actually introducing new characters that you could actually choose and I think you could do a little bit more conforming to it.
Yes. So I mean, it again, hence why I was super like stoked on the idea of trying to get into the open beta. However, you have to pre-order the game in order to do so. I just can't swing that right now. But you're absolutely right. They actually do have a character creation aspect for Diablo 4 this time around. And again, that's for me and people like me, that's just kind of icing on the cake. But talking about, going back to Wolfen, that being said, so as Eugene said, it is available on Steam. The game was actually released back in 2020 as a PC title. So it just barely made the jump to console now. And it shows. It shows. Graphically, the game is very good. Very, very good. And in some aspects, the cutscenes and things like that are actually better than some of the stuff you might even find on Diablo 3, definitely better than on Diablo 2. However, it's got a lot of jankiness to, there's a lot of texture clipping. You've got items that, if you kill an enemy and it drops a piece of armor or a weapon or something like that, just falls into the environment and you can't get it. But you can see it.
What do you expect? I mean, it's basically, like you said, a clone of Diablo. And
Yeah.
it was put out in 2020, which I'm sure they were just all like, dude, let's throw something out there right now because, I mean, everyone's stuck at home. So we'll cash in on them being at home. And I'm sure
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And not to take anything away from the studio that created it. I mean, not just anybody can make a video game. It obviously, you've got to know what you're doing, and it takes time and money, and it's from an independent studio. The studio is actually called Wolfen, and so this was their very first game. It just, unfortunately, the port over to console was not as strong as it could have been. They don't hold your hand in terms of like the user interface and stuff like that, which some people perfectly fine with. A lot of people like to play a game and actually play it, learn all of the nuances of it, navigating the menus and stuff like that, and not really need to be told, oh, press B to do this, stuff like that. But in some cases, it's necessary because they have a crafting system. They don't tell you how to craft anything. You got to figure it out. They have a way of, kind of like in Diablo, some of the items, the higher tiers you get up in the game, they have sockets that you can put gems into the weapons and armor, and it provides buffs or damage increases, things like that. But they don't tell you how to get the gems into the sockets. They don't tell you how to create sockets for the things if that's what you want to do. And so that was a little bit of a point of contention as well. For me, the biggest bug that I ran into, it was a bug too. I'd gotten maybe halfway through chapter 2, and I'm getting ready to start this, pivotal point in that part of the game, and it suddenly gives me the cutscene in the beginning of chapter 2. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I back out of the cutscene, and all of a sudden I see I've got all of these mission, objectives that I finished for one, but they were all for when you start chapter 2, and they all of a sudden were back again. And there's on the side of my screen, it said I hadn't done any of the stuff. It's like, what the heck is going on with this thing? Random crashes. You get caught in load screens for a while. Yeah, unfortunately, it scratches that itch until Diablo 4 is available, but you're still itchy.
And
sorry.
I was actually talking to David. So, David, which, if you guys don't know who David is, he is which didn't do
Oof.
I'll make a video. But it also
And we're losing you. We're losing you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but you sound like you sound like what's his name from South Park? What's going on, everybody?
Stephen Hawkins?
Oh, him
He's not
too.
from South Park?
Him too. Ned.
Well,
Ned. You sound like Ned from South Park.
This
is bad. Yeah. So, sorry, everybody. This is what happens when, unfortunately, both of us are getting hit with connectivity issues and Eugene's driving.
Did Lupus say something? No, he hasn't said anything yet. He's probably just
Not
shaking
yet.
his head.
Yeah, I would imagine either that or he went back to playing Modern Warfare 2 and he's just like, yeah, forget this.
And I'm sure Phil's like, oh my god, these guys are retarded. Yes!
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a combo guy. Hunt, hunt, hit, hit.
Yeah, Lupe's playing Modern Warfare 2.
So
this is rough. Sorry, you guys. Oh my god. Wow.
What's up, Bach?
Yeah. Oh, Lupe says we're both freezing up. I'm not seeing it on my end, but that's bad. Yeah, like I said, Lupe, we're unfortunately we've got a lot of rain going right now, and it's playing havoc with everything.
Do I sound like Alpha 1? Or Alpha 3?
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, it takes us back to the LimeWire days, huh, Lupe?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm in an area that's, well, that don't sound too bad. Let me describe the area that I'm driving.
Yeah, there's nothing, Eugene, that we're getting nothing but reverb from you. Yeah, and there goes Eugene. Lupe getting a virus. Wow. Yeah. Oh my god. Sorry. All right. So going back to the topic at hand. So yeah, again, Wilson, it's fun to play. It's got a lot of, that kind of shooter
back.
to it. Hey, he's back with a good signal, sounds like.
Yeah. So I was going to describe really quick. I know we're doing video games, but the area there is nobody that drives through this at this time of night. It's nothing but orchards on either side. It's scary as hell. If I break down, I probably will be killed.
So basically, Eugene is on the set of The Hills Have Eyes.
Yes, pretty much. That is exactly where I'm
at. That's accurate. Oh man, yeah, we lost you again, Gene. You're sounding for like the bottom of a trash can. But at any rate, So I'm gonna close out that segment. If you hear me, Gene, I'm gonna close out the segment and we can move on. There. At least we got that much. So beat must destroy you. Your Will Robinson danger. Oh man.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Robbie the Robot from, oh my God.
Forbidden Planet, Lost in
Forbidden
Space.
Planet. Yeah.
He was also. They also made a little cameo in. What was the Benchwarmers? He was in the house of what's his face. Lovett's house.
Mm-hmm.
John Lovett's. Yeah. Am I sounding a little bit better now?
Much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lupe mentioned earlier, he said no talk about thrashing. Yes, we will talk about thrashing because that brought back so much nostalgia as I sat there in the guard shack, half tempted to put that movie on the guard shack cinema, but since Lupe had already mentioned it, I was all like, nah, I'm not gonna put that up there. But I was like, dude, I gotta watch. I do have to watch it again because I loved that movie.
Oh, how could you not? I mean, so Thrashing was hands down one of the best movies of our, pre-teens, because it was at the height of, the popularity of skateboarding, that, the resurgence that we had in the mid-'80s, late '80s there. And it was starring a very young James Brolin, who we all know and love as Thanos. Josh Brolin. Sorry, Josh Brolin. Who we all know as Thanos.
Well, actually, back then we knew him as Mikey's brother from.
That's true, the older brother from the Goonies. That's right.
So before he became Thanos, we knew him as Mikey's brother. Then he had several different little parts that brought him back. Like No Country for Old Men, or, that one movie, and then all of a sudden he became Thanos, and then Cable. But
the thing and we even talked about it in DMs earlier today with Lupe, is so a lot of very famous skaters at the time were in this movie. Tony Alva had appearances. Tony Hawk was in it. Steve Caballero, Christian Soy. So a lot of very, very well-known, skaters at that time were, all had cameos in the movie. But there was a young, at the time, kind of, unknown band, called the Red Hot Chili Peppers, makes an appearance in the film as well. So Steve Stedham was So there was all kinds of people in this movie.
You know what's funny is that Lupe brought up this particular movie, Thrashing, when the day before I put up on Guard Shack Cinema, I had put up a movie that nobody really made any, didn't even try to answer the question. But it was a little movie called Dudes, which I know nobody really remembers.
Never even heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a very obscure movie, but it had John Cryer in it. And I think that was after he did Ducky. Yeah, it was just after he did
Candles.
Huh?
After 16 Candles.
Yeah, so it was after his role in 16 Candles as Ducky. And he plays a punker.
Oh, Pretty in Pink. Sorry, that was Pretty in Pink.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. But he plays a punker from New York. And him and his friends, which he has two friends that want to travel with him to Los Angeles because they wanted to change scenery.
Uh,
One of his friends happens to be Flea.
what?
Yeah, Flea
What?
is one of the actors in the movie, and he plays a pretty good part for like the first 20 or 30 minutes he's in it. He's like full
Okay.
on in it. And
Yeah,
then, huh?
I wasn't sure I had heard you right.
Yeah, if you look it up, I mean, it's honestly, it's a bad movie. But I watched it because I used to like it as a kid. I don't know why I liked it as a kid. I can't, there's no way I could tell you why I watched it so much when I was younger. But, and I can't remember who it was that showed it to me. But yeah, it was a movie called Dudes. And they become like vigilantes going after the guys that kill Flea in the movie. So it's an interesting movie. But,
Well, I tried to do a quick search for it, and oh wait, here we go, 1986. That was scary because I did a quick search and I got a lot of results that they left me with a lot more questions than answers.
when he typed in dudes, he saw time.
Well, not quite that bad, but it definitely left me with more questions than answers. Oh my, okay. Man, I wish I could pull this up. The pictures of Flea look like, that is so weird. He's so young.
Yep.
And he's got this crazy hair. Like, it literally looks like he's wearing a piece of carpet on his head.
Yeah.
What the heck? There we go. 3 punk-loving dudes in New York City need a change and drive a VW Bug to California. After rednecks kill one of them in Arizona, they want justice. A cute girl helps them. That's literally the synopsis I'm reading right now.
That's exactly what the movie is. And that cute girl is Catherine Mary Stewart, which I had a huge crush on because she was from The Last Starfighter. And yeah, I was all like, I think that's probably why I got into that movie more, because I had a huge crush on her from Last Starfighter, and then she was in this movie. I was just like,
Well, how could you? I mean, Last Starfighter, that's the ultimate classic.
oh, dude, I love me The Last Starfighter.
So good.
I can watch
So
that
good.
over and over again. I seriously can. That and Iron Eagle.
Oh, so good. Yeah, see, even Lupe, he got excited. We said Last Starfighter, he got excited.
Hell yeah. We need to do the Geek Saga, and we got to break down The Last Starfighter. Because there was a lot of things about The Last Starfighter that, had that movie not come out, I think it would have slowed down the development of a lot of computer effects, because that was the first movie that truly used computer animation.
Yeah, well, and this was even pre-CGI. So this was literally, as you said, this is computer animation.
Yeah.
You know, digital computer animation.
Yep.
Yeah, where's my beta unit? Oh my god.
We should have beta units by this point. We should.
That's so good. God, that was so good. And I mean, that movie had a little bit of everything for everyone, you know? Obviously, if you know, were even remotely interested in sci-fi, you know, Star Trek, Star Wars, what have you, you know, it obviously had that. You know, my mom loved it because Robert Preston was in it, you know,
Yeah.
of Broadway and musicals and stuff like that. Where's my video? So I could do Bunker Fest and WCCO.
What? Wait, read that again? I didn't hear you.
Lupe said, "Where's my beta unit? That way I could do Bunkerfest and WCCPL at the same." Well, shoot,
Hell
if that's
yeah.
the case, Lupe, your beta unit could play Bunkerfest or WCCPL while you're at the other level.
Yep.
Because I mean, they're far more athletic than we are, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they may have our body, but they're freaking androids. Or,
Right.
I'm sorry, they weren't androids. They're humans. It's a beta.
They're a synthoid replicant.
There you go. Synthoid replicant.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I mean, just such a great movie, and it had so many things about it that were just, you know, appealing to everybody. But I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, one of the big things about it was the fact that the movie was the first to truly lean into, you know, computer effects and computer graphics for the movie itself. And I mean, it translated really, really well, especially at the time. It was, I dare say, probably revolutionary for that.
oh yeah, it definitely was, because I mean, most people only think of Tron as being a, you know, computer generated. Yes, it did use some computer animation, but when you look at what Tron was wearing, like what they wore as their costumes, nothing was computer generated on them. That was literally old movie tricks of scratching in the lines.
Actually scratching the film itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was shot in, I think, was it in black and white originally? Then they like did some other stuff to give it that blue hue, and it was movie stuff. It wasn't computer.
Yeah. No, I hadn't heard it. I hadn't heard about that, but you could be right. You could be right.
What?
About them filming it in black and white and then altering the film to get the glow effects and stuff like that. I'm not certain.
Yeah, that was what they did for, at least for their costumes and certain things where they were walking and stuff. But for the most part, yes, the light cycles, those were computer generated.
Yeah,
The ships were those were computer generated. Very, and you can see because it's very boxy, or just, you know, you can see that
it was boxy. It was very 8-bit. It was very 8-bit, but it fit at the time. You know, I mean that was the video game graphics that we had at the time, was those geometric, you know, very large polygon, blocky kind of graphics, and so it worked well for that fact.
Yeah, but it
worked well for that.
It was the last Starfighter that took it a step further, and, you know, turned it into what it is now.
I agree, and I agree with you as well. I mean, going back and watching Tron even now, it was awesome for when it came out. I mean, it really did kind of turn everybody on their ear in terms of, you know, what could be done. You're following in line with Star Wars. A lot of people saw Star Wars because of the, you know, props, actual, you know, small ships that they filmed flying across, you know, the trench of the Death Star and things like that. You know, practical effects as opposed to something that was computer generated. You know, it continued that trend. So 41 years later, we have the light cycle to ride. Yeah, what the hell took them so long, man? I remember when they were talking about, oh man, 1995, we're gonna have flying cars. We barely had electric cars in 1995.
Well, no, we were supposed to, by 2015, supposed to have our freaking flying cars and our hoverboards.
Yeah.
According to Back to the Future. So, yeah, where's that at? Government
exactly.
conspiracy.
Nike just barely came out with the shoes.
That's true. But have you seen how much those shoes cost? If you
Yeah,
get
they're like,
actual movie accurate replicas,
yeah, they're like $9,000.
they're freaking ridiculous.
Yeah,
How could that
exactly.
not?
Luke. And our beta units. Where are the beta units? We need them. I know I do. Because I'll send my beta unit to work so I can sleep all day.
No, I would send my beta unit to work so I can keep working on this stuff.
Well,
I
that's
don't
it.
sleep, but
I love sleep.
uh,
Don't get enough of it.
well,
Oh my god.
I mean, we went on a real tangent there. We went from thrashing, talking skateboards, all the way to computer generated stuff to. We went far.
But that's the beauty of the midweek geek is that we can literally just riff on all of this stuff and it's so much fun.
True.
Or I can sleep on my beta unit, go to the airport away. Exactly. That's exactly right.
So, I think. Sorry. I think we're gonna have to do a actual Geek Saga episode about, since we did one on Flash Gordon, we're gonna have to do one on The Last Starfighter.
Oh, hands down. I'd be so stoked for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you need my help on that, I will be more than happy to join.
Definitely. I'll definitely have you on, and then probably have, if David's on for it, he'll be on. But for those of you guys out there that don't know, yeah, I mentioned a Flash Gordon episode. It is, we did do it. I have not posted it up to Comic-Con Radio, so that is coming, and it should be coming by next week. I'm going to send up a lot of episodes to them. But that's where you'll be able to go on to comiccon-radio.com to be able to listen to those episodes. There's a Flash Gordon episode, and there's I think we did a video game episode about Final Fantasy. So
Okay.
those will be coming out, but we will be doing the other ones. We'll be doing the next one we're going to be doing is a comic book one, which I think we're going to be dive a little bit into The Dark Knight, Frank Miller,
Mm-hmm.
and then
that Frank Miller Dark Knight is iconic. It's iconic.
Oh yeah, dude, it's amazing. I absolutely love that particular graphic novel.
Yeah, and I'm not even a DC guy either. I'll openly admit, not a DC guy, but that Frank Miller Dark Knight was so good, so good.
Yeah. But there is another graphic novel that I read because a buddy of mine, who is an English professor, tells his English students to read. It was a DC comic, and it was the one where is it Flashpoint? Flashpoint Paradox?
I wasn't there for the conversation, so I don't know.
No, I'm trying to think of it because I have it on my crap. I'll have to look it up. It's another graphic novel, and it's like the future, and Batman is in his freaking armor or his like exoskeleton because he's all jacked up by that point. Oh man, I can't remember. But I do want to discuss that one too because, and I might even have my buddy who is the English professor come on, just because he actually, he has a really deep insight to it. And again, he has all his college students literally read it and do a paper on it. And he'll do a whole
required reading for this curriculum, for the syllabus.
So really quick, Dennis, I need you to kind of take over, I'm going to step out of my car because I need to get some gas. So
Well, I
talk
mean, I
amongst
don't know.
yourselves.
Okay, talk amongst ourselves. Okay. Well, I mean,
Give me 5 minutes, and then I'll be back on, and then we'll close out the show.
that's fine. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, openly admit, I'm not a DC guy, so I'm not sure whether Flashpoint as opposed to something else. But I would definitely like to. I would definitely like to get more into some of the graphic novels that are out there, mainly because the writing more than anything else, the actual storyline arcs that were introduced in things like Watchmen. Watchmen is another iconic, graphic novel that parlayed into a lot of other storylines within. I mean, I know they got shoehorned in with DC, but Watchmen was another great one that I think we could do a deep dive on, and it would be a lot of fun. I have no doubt. Young Phil probably has some words on that one. Lupe, I don't know if you've ever read Watchmen, but so good, so good. Going back to Frank Miller, 300. Yeah, I know we've all seen the movie, but that graphic novel far superior to anything that we saw on the screen. So, yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely ready for something like that. And I'm watching our feed right now because I was curious. Yeah, Lupe had said that we're both lagging really bad. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm freezing all the time. Still was saying the audio's bad. Holy cow. This is just not our night, you guys. I'm so sorry. Wow. But that being said, again, Eugene's pumping gas. I think we can hear him in the background there fooling around. But we did manage to make it a little over an hour, which is good. I'm looking at. I was looking at while we were talking about Last Starfighter and things like that. I was looking at some of the other stuff, and for the longest time, I had it in my head. Oh, Lou Gossett Jr. played Grid from Last Starfighter, the kind of lizardy guy. Coming out, obviously, much later, I was wrong because that was not Lou Gossett Jr. That was Dan O'Hurley. But I realized what I thought, or what I was thinking of, was a movie with Dennis Quaid called Enemy Mine. And that was so good. I absolutely loved Enemy Mine. Dennis Quaid getting stranded on another planet. Yes, exactly. He was the lizard guy in Enemy Mine. Yeah. So Dennis Quaid plays this. I guess you could say he's an astronaut, but he's not really an astronaut. But he gets stranded on a desert planet with an individual from a race that is at war with humanity, and they literally have to rely on each other to survive. And it was so good. That movie was amazing.
Which movie was amazing?
Enemy Mine.
Oh, that was a great one.
So good.
Yeah. I loved that movie too.
Yeah,
that was another good
brought it up because for the longest time I had always thought, oh, Lou Gossett Jr. played Grid from Last Starfighter, but I was thinking because he played the lizard guy from Enemy Mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. The Lupe, so good.
Wasn't the guy from Enemy, or not Enemy Mines, Last Starfighter? Wasn't that the old guy from RoboCop?
He might have been, actually. Let me tell you. Yes, yeah, Dan O'Hurley. Yes, he played the CEO guy.
Yeah.
Yep, that's him. Which yet another great one, RoboCop. I mean, come on.
I just watched that actually on 2 days ago. I actually watched that. Oh no, actually yesterday I watched RoboCop.
So good. You're fired. Thank you. Pop, 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 pop.
Now,
That's so good.
did he yell or was he? It was just wasn't it like really calm? He was like, "Dick, you're fired." He's up.
No, no, he kind of yells and goes, Nick, you're fired, and he just, thank you. He just blows the guy away. So good.
Oh, such a great movie.
Yeah,
So,
and you know it's funny too. RoboCop, like the effects in RoboCop, even at the time, not that good. It
no,
just was so good.
no, especially when you saw like the Ed 209. It's like, yeah, that's stop motion. You could tell,
Yeah, it was really, really bad.
but it didn't get any better in part two. I don't know if you remember
No,
part two.
no, and it got even worse in part 3.
Oh God, yeah. Yes, seeing Red when that 70s show came out, I was like, oh my God, that's a freaking dude from that 70s show.
From RoboCop, yeah.
Oh man, that was funny. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh
Red
my
knows how to
God.
cuss. Red's a killer.
Yeah, what was his name? Clarence Boddicker. Clarence Boddicker, you're under arrest. So good. Yeah, and I mean, and the lineup for RoboCop, like all of the action, obviously Peter Weller. Always, I think we're always going to have a love for Peter Weller. But I mean, Nancy Allen was in it. Ron Cox, Miguel Ferrier when he was young. You know, Ray Wise, who everybody always mistook him for Morgan Jr. You know, there was a bunch of like they're character actors, but the lineup was so good, and the movie again, it was bad, but it was bad in a good way.
Oh, dude, it trumps the newer RoboCop.
Oh, we don't talk about that. We don't even talk about that.
We don't
Nope.
talk about RoboCop.
Oh, so bad.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, the last thing is like it never will leave my head is the scene from RoboCop. The dude gets dunked in the toxic waste. Oh, help me! And he's just
Oh
melting,
my
and then
God.
RoboCop nails him with a car, and he literally just explodes all over the windshield. It was
Actually,
beautiful.
that was Red. That was Red that hit him with the car.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It was Clarence that nails him with the car.
Yep.
But that in and of itself, because he's stumbling around as he's melting, and he's like, "Help me!" And he just
Oh my gosh, dude.
it's like watching a water balloon just.
I was so messed up as a kid when I saw that scene, but I still love that movie.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? That and in the opening scenes when Murphy he gets his hand just disappear, spray blood, all of that. It's just
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was a brutal movie, but I, as a kid, loved it. I mean, I think every kid during the 80s that knew who RoboCop was and was allowed to watch that movie, even though it was rated R.
Yeah.
So, that was a great movie.
So good.
But,
So good. All right,
guys. I think this is it. We've done an hour and 15 minutes, even though we've been actually longer, and it's been rough. And I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this whole thing because I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta see how bad it sounds. Because we may have to do this again.
Yeah, we may have to.
Because I mean, there's gonna be times when I'm traveling, and I really don't want to miss so many episodes. Which really would suck. So, or maybe we find another co-host for Dennis. for those times.
And it was a little bit of a learning experience for me because I didn't have the access that I have now. So I was getting used to putting up the slides and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So it's good. It's a good thing, you know. Knowing's half the battle.
yes, yes.
Oh, but all right, guys. So I'm gonna say this is it for tonight. It's been great. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging in there with us, and all three of you guys that are out there. I don't know who else on here. If Phil's still listening, I know it's tough. But, so yeah, I'm going to say that the best way to find us is go onto our Instagram, which is under the Geek Saga banner. We fall under the Geek Saga umbrella. This is one of the shows that's part of Geek Saga. So you can go on to Instagram at Geek Saga, and you can also find our TikTok, which is the Geek Saga. And also you can email us if you ever want to talk to us or have any suggestions for shows, or have you want to sponsor the show or something. By all means, you guys can do that. But you can catch us at thegeeksaga20@gmail.com. We are also on YouTube at The Geek Saga. They did this whole thing where you can have your name or something like that. I forgot what it was. But it's also The Geek Saga 77. And then also you can, am I sounding like a robot again?
Yeah. Beep boop bob must need babies.
Why didn't you say Dennis? I'm sounding that bad. All right. Dennis, take us out because I sound like a robot.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So, as Eugene was trying to say, thank you everybody for sticking in there, working with us. I know it was a little rough, but it was fun as always. And please check us out on social media. You can find us on Instagram under the Geek Saga. You can find us on TikTok. I think it's Geek Saga 77, I believe, right, Gene?
No, TikTok is just still the Geek Saga. It's YouTube. It's
still just
the Geek Saga 77.
Got it. Okay, and thank you. And our YouTube channel, Geek Saga 77. Again, thank you so much for supporting us, and we're definitely gonna have to do this again. Oh
yeah,
my God!
So
all right,
you've heard everything that we've got to say about the Midweek Geek for this week, and you've heard all our opinions that we have about all these movies. But guess what, guys? You don't have to take our word for it. Take us out, Dennis.
All right, let's get this first. All right, have a good night, everybody.